Welcome back to the CharCole Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. We're going to be talking about the SDHSAA Playoffs this week for football. And
So first thing we're going to do is start off with the class picks like last week. Now we're going to start off at the beginning. First we'll go through all the 11B games and then tell everyone of the picks. Winter beat Garrettson, McCook beat Stanley County, Sioux Valley beat Chamberlain, Elk Point Jefferson beat Mount Vernon Plankington, Bridgewater Emery beat Lee Deadwood, Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central beat Sisseton, Mobridge Pollock beat Aberdeen Roncalli, and St. Thomas More beat Redfield.
And so with that, we'll just start recapping the picks. Here we have Dylan Reimitz's. He went 7 for 8. He missed the Elk Point Jefferson game, and for this week he picks winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over EPJ over Sioux Valley, rather. Bridgewater Emery over WWSSC, and St. Thomas More over Mobridge Pollock.
Dawson Gerlach also goes with Elk Point Jefferson losing to Mount Vernon Plankington and gets that one wrong, goes 7 out of 8. He picks winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over Elk Point Jefferson, BEE over Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central, Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
Reed Russ also went 7 for 8. His picks for this week, winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over EPJ, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over WWSSC, and St. Thomas More over Mobridge Pollock.
Christopher Meyer goes 7 for 8, and most of these guys have the Mount Vernon Plankington Elk Point Jefferson game picked wrong, other than one guy, and we'll hit to that in a second. But in this week, he picked winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over Elk Point Jefferson, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
Coach K went 6 for 8 as he picked the Sisseton Woonsocket Weston Spring Sanborn Central upset and got that wrong. So going into this week, he has winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over EPJ, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over WWSSC, and St. Thomas More over Mobridge Pollock.
Cole Pranger also goes 7 for 8, picking the Mount Vernon Plankington game wrong. He picks winner this week over MCM, Sioux Valley over Elk Point Jefferson, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central, and St. Thomas More over Mobridge Pollock.
Lane Espinal went 7 for 8 last week, and this week he picks winner, Sioux Valley, Bridgewater Emery Ethan, and Mobridge Pollock.
Lincoln Clues also goes 7 for 8, picking the Mount Vernon Plankington game wrong. He picks winner over MCM, Sioux Valley over Elk Point Jefferson, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
And for Jordan Stoltz, the only perfect bracket we have so far, as he picked Elk Point Jefferson over Mount Vernon Plankington last week, so he is 8 for 8, and this week we go winner over MCM, EPJ over Sioux Valley, still sticking with EPJ on that pick, interesting. Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston Spring Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
Mason Hetland goes 7 for 8, also picking the Mount Vernon Plankington game wrong. He picks winner this week over MCM, Sioux Valley over Elk Point Jefferson, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
Colby Kaiser went 6 for 8 last week as he picked Sisseton over Woonsocket Weston Spring Sanborn Central, and that was wrong. And for this week, he picks winner over MCM, EPJ over Sioux Valley, Bridgewater Emery Ethan over Woonsocket Weston Spring Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock over St. Thomas More.
Now we're going to head into our picks this week, kind of talk about a little bit of every game here in the state briefly, and let's hit this winter MCM game. Everyone's going to talk about Jacoby Kraus having to get 50 carries to win this game. It's going to be a tough one, but I think Winter definitely takes this game.
I think Winter takes this one. Personally, I think it'll be close in the first half, as both defenses are pretty good and both offenses are solid. But I think Winter starts to pull away in the second half, and I'd say 2 or 3 touchdowns for sure.
Right. The only way MCM takes this game is with their size.
Yep.
But I don't see anything like that happening. The next game, Sioux Valley and Elk Point Jefferson, big game. I think this will be the most competitive game in the state this week. Obviously, the 4-5 will be pretty good. I think Sioux Valley wins it, though.
I also believe Sioux Valley is going to win this one. Like you said, I think it's going to be close, and they both have very interesting offenses that they play and pretty tough defenses, too. So It's going to be a very even battle throughout. I don't see it being more than a touchdown difference.
Definitely. Now we're going to head to the Bridgewater Emery game versus Woonsocket Weston and Spring Sanborn Central. You talked about last week that Woonsocket game being low scoring, and you were pretty much right on. Sisseton didn't even score. Threw a lot of interceptions, threw the ball around a lot in the cold. Didn't help their cause, but I really don't see Woonsocket having much of a chance here. And if they do, great for them, but I think Bridgewater Emery definitely takes this game by a long shot.
I also believe Bridgewater Emery is going to take this one. Woonsocket, I don't think they're going to be able to score very many points against Bridgewater Emery's defense, and Bridgewater Emery is just going to run away with this one. I don't believe it's going to be a close game.
Actually run away with it. Colby Kaiser will have a great game there.
Yep.
So the Mobridge Pollock St. Thomas More game, It's a tough one too. I mean, that Sioux Valley, Elk Point Jefferson game and the St. Thomas Mobridge Poly game, going to be great games. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think St. Thomas More is going to take this one just for the sole fact that Mobridge Pollock, I don't believe they played anybody. They didn't have a very tough schedule this year, and they're coming in at 8-0, or sorry, 7-0 after the regular season. So I think St. Thomas More is just going to take that based on the toughness of their schedule. And maybe Mobridge Pollock plays this one, but I think it's going to be close. But I think St. Thomas More is going to win.
I agree, and maybe like you said, Mobridge Pollock could show up and do something we don't know, but you just don't know with them guys. Yeah. They've played such an interesting schedule, but I agree, St. Thomas More takes this game. So now we're going to head to 9B, kind of hit these games. So Kadoka area takes the 1 seed in 9B somehow. Definitely an interesting deal. The 1 seed probably won't last very long. That top side, Del Rapids, you probably see them taking that.
Yeah.
But Kadoka area, Scotland, who do you think?
I'm going to take Kadoka on this one, just for the sole fact they're the 1 seed. So.
I agree, but I could see Scotland winning this game. I'm going to take Kadoka also, but this is a toss-up. I don't know much about either of these teams, but I see Kadoka winning this. Let's go Faith, Del Rapids, St. Mary.
I'm going to take Del Rapids, St. Mary. They're obviously coming in 2 games short because they had a COVID incident in their school, but nonetheless, they're a really tough team, so I think they're going to take this one.
I agree, and nothing against Faith, but Del Rapids is going to take this game.
Yep.
Harriet, Selby area, Coleman Egan. Coleman Egan somehow ends up at the 7th seed at 5-2, and I think they're one of the better teams in 9B. What do you think?
I would also have to agree with you. I do believe they're a really tough team. I'm actually going to take the upset in this game.
I am too, yep.
The 7 over the 2, so I'm going to take Coleman Egan winning this game.
100% agree. Wolsey Wessington, Corsi Stickney. Somehow Corsi Stickney ended up with a 6 seed, and they came in at 4-4. Pretty bad losses on the season, but got all 8 games in.
Yep.
Wolsey Wessington is, in my opinion, the best 9B team out there, and I don't see anybody beating Wolsey Wessington.
I think they're going to run away with this one, especially this game against Corsica Stickney. But for the rest of the games, I can't imagine any of them very close. And maybe they prove me wrong, I guess, but I see Wolsey Wessington going along.
100% agree. All right, now let's go to 9A, Howard and Castlewood.
I'm going to have to take Howard on this one. It's just Howard.
Right. Howard's got size and the speed to get outside in this game. I don't see Castlewood having much of a chance on this one.
No.
Canastota Freeman, Phillip. Canastota Freeman's obviously one of the better teams in 9A. It's unfortunate that these two have to meet in the semifinals. But that'd be probably the best A championship of the year if they could meet there. And it's a tough one, but I think Canastota Freeman takes a pretty big game away from Phillip. I
think this first round game is going to be a pretty big game for Canastota Freeman, and the Canastota Freeman Howard game is definitely going to be one to look forward to in the second round.
Could agree. This bottom half of the bracket, you got Wall, Lineman, Warner, and Ipswich among Central. So I don't know. I don't like the seeding here, but this is how it ended up. But Wall, Lineman, what do you think here?
I don't know. Honestly, this whole bottom half of the bracket, I think, could go either way for any of the teams.
Yeah.
But just for this one, I'm feeling a little lucky today. I'm just going to take both 7-2 upsets. I'm going to take Lineman over Wall.
All right, that's an interesting pick. I think Wall's going to win this game, though. I just think that they're too good for now, and they're obviously going to get beat by Warner because Warner's one heck of a team, and they'll end up in the state championship either way. But now we'll get to it. Warner, Ipswich among Central. I don't think Ipswich has much of a chance either.
I don't think so either. Warner's going to take this one big.
Alrighty, so let's head to 9AA. I think this is probably the best one of the best classes.
Yep.
And this week, it's a pretty interesting game. Viborg Hurley, Rapid City Christian. That's going to be a trip for Rapid City Christian. What are your thoughts on here?
That's going to be a long trip for Rapid City Christian for them to get stomped in the first round. So
Could agree.
I want to take Viborg Hurley big.
Agreed. 50-point game or more. Platte Gaddis Hanson. This is really unfortunate these two had to meet right away.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really, really close game, or it's just going to be a really big game for either team. I think personally it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yep.
For who to pick, though, I'm going Hanson. I'm feeling the upset.
Interesting pick. I'm going to take Platte here just for the fact that I think they have too much senior heavy. I do think that they're a really good team.
Yeah.
And I think Platte Viborg Hurley is going to be a really good game too. I see Platte almost making it to the state championship this year. They have a squad. So let's head to the Hamlin Arlington Lake Preston game. And one quick note, I talked to the Arlington Lake Preston coach, or actually he talked to my dad and I heard a little bit of the conversation. But Arlington Lake Preston is actually, they were an underdog against Baltic, and they ended up beating Baltic by 6. I wouldn't be surprised to see a close game between these two.
I wouldn't either, personally, just looking at their past scores and everything. I think this is going to be a close game, but I also do believe that Hamlin's going to pull away with it.
I agree. I hope to death that Arlington wins, but I think Hamlin will take this game by far. So let's head to the Lemon McIntosh Florence Henry game. Interesting teams both. Lemon McIntosh really kind of stood out for a while. They were ranked at one point too, I think. But I think Florence Henry has little to no chance here. But Lemon McIntosh really has a good quarterback and a good backfield to win this game. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as you think. I think Lemon McIntosh wins it, but I think Lemon McIntosh isn't the team everyone thinks they are.
Yeah, I would say they're probably a little bit overhyped, but that's just what happens when you have a great beginning of the season. But I think Lemon McIntosh is going to take that game.
100% agree. So we hit 11B. Let's head up to 11A now. 11A is a really tough one, and back to that whole seeding. Seeding is a little weird this year too. So T area takes on Lennox first round. Lennox has got a good team, but obviously T's the favorite in 11A. What are your thoughts here?
I think T's going to take this one pretty big, just based on the overall not so good season that Lennox has had so far. I think T's going to take this one.
100% agree there. Also, let's head to the Dakota Valley Madison game taking place in Dakota Valley. I don't see Madison. I think this 4-5 is probably the biggest difference in a 4-5 matchup.
Yeah.
I don't think Madison has the team that they had with the Yankee kids a couple of years ago. Yeah. Dakota Valley takes this game.
I also do believe Dakota Valley takes this game, and you'd think for a 4-5 game it'd be a lot closer, but I don't portray this one as being very close.
Let's go to the 2-7 Canton Millbank. Millbanks had their talk for a while and then ended up at a 7 seed. Canton obviously will run away with this one, and you could see that T Canton championship again.
You could.
West Central Del Rapids, probably the best game in the state this week. If I were to pick and I could go anywhere, I would go to this one. Del Rapids really shouldn't be that 6 seed. They could have been a 4 or a 5 and just as well made it to the state championship. But this is going to be the best game in the state this week. West Central Del Rapids has been playing really good football as of late, and West Central has really been playing well also. What do you think?
I'm taking the upset again, old Chuck. I'm feeling the upsets today. I'm going to take Del Rapids over West Central.
No way.
I'm feeling the upsets today, Chuck.
No way. All right, so West Central wins that game, no question. 11 AA where things are really weird. You got one favorite, and then it's just the rest, and they're there. Brookings Spearfish, this might be a 70-point game at halftime. Now, they got the mercy rule in there to help Spearfish from getting beat by 103. You just hope that they get out of there without getting hurt.
Yeah, at that point, you just gotta hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, it's at 6. Yeah. It's at 6 p.m. Central Time, so Spearfish has a little bit more time to get home.
Yeah.
So, poor guys. Let's head to the Sturgis Huron game. Sturgis is up. Huron is up in Sturgis. Sturgis somehow landed with a 4 seed. Long trip for Huron. What are your thoughts here?
I don't know. You'd think a 4-5 game typically going to be close, but the fact that Sturgis pulled the 4 seed is just kind of mind-boggling to me. On who to win, I personally have no idea.
I don't either.
It's going to be a toss-up.
It is a toss-up, and I'm basing both these teams off of how Mitchell played them, but I think Sturgis is going to win this game. I think Sturgis is going to beat Huron and go and play Brookings next round. So, I don't know, it's a tough one.
I'm just going to call it a toss-up.
Right.
Leave it at that.
All right, Yankton Douglas. Wow, this is going to be one of the big games, too. Yankton's going to put up a lot of rushing yards in this game.
They are. They've put up a lot of rushing yards during the season, too.
So, I don't see any way Douglas wins this game.
No.
So, Yankton will take it by a lot. Peter, TF Riggs, and Mitchell. It's Mitchell. I think Mitchell has the kids to win. They have the talent, and they're just... There's many factors in talking about it, and everyone says this and everyone says that, but I just think that they're wasting some of the talent they have. They have a lot of athletic kids.
They are.
Big size.
Good athletes.
They have really
athletes.
Parker Phillips is really a great athlete, but I think Mitchell definitely had a great season, but this is how it'll end right there.
Yeah, it'll definitely end with this game right here against Pierce. So.
All right, let's move to AAA. AAA is definitely interesting this year because you got some pretty good matchups, which could be state championship matchups, even in the first round. So let's talk Roosevelt Watertown. I don't think this is close at all. Roosevelt's obviously the favorite here, but AAA always tends to change in the playoffs.
Yeah, AAA playoffs are
Always
like,
weird.
It's like a coin flip for every game, even the 1/8. So
What's weird about it is it happens at Howard Wood, and if you got two Sioux Falls teams at Howard Wood, it's a toss-up. You got that Lincoln-Washington game at Howard Wood, plus that Roosevelt-Watertown game. So, I don't know, Roosevelt takes this one, but let's head down to the O'Gorman-Harrisburg game. This will probably be the best game in AAA, I'd say, in a long time. You know, O'Gorman played Harrisburg last week and beat them. I don't think by a score or two, but O'Gorman's really a solid team, and I think so is Harrisburg. I could see Harrisburg even beating Roosevelt in the semifinals. Yeah. But I'm going to take Harrisburg here. What are your thoughts?
It's going to be a really close game, as you said. Like I said, it could be a coin flip that determines them. You're going to take Harrisburg, so I'm just going to go against what you said. I'm going to take O'Gorman for this game.
That's how it is. All right, so the next one you got Brandon Valley, Aberdeen Central, the 2-7. Brandon Valley, obviously one of the favorites in the state this year. That bottom half of the bracket, not so good this year. But Brandon Valley, you know, I could see them making a state run to win.
I could also see them making a state run. They're definitely going to win this first game, but yeah, they could very, very well make a state run this year.
I agree. All right, so let's head down to that Sioux Falls-Lincoln, Sioux Falls-Washington game. Lincoln, like I said, at Howard Wood, it's going to be a tough game for both sides. I could see Washington winning this, and I think they do. I think Washington wins this game.
I was feeling this upset, too, because they're both playing at Howard Wood. Both teams actually play in Howard Wood, so it's going to be a huge crowd. It's just going to be a fun atmosphere. I think Washington takes this one.
100%. Well, that kind of ends the podcast now, and one thing I want to note before we wrap up here is the viewership we had last podcast. So thank you guys for that.
And that was very
nice.
Awesome. That was great.
It was awesome. So I can't thank you guys enough, and yeah.
Well, with that, those are all of our picks for the football playoffs this week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.